How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be featuring the Mogador, the Tier 8 French tech tree destroyer. Not sure why I decided to play the Mogador, especially since we already have Kleber, and Kleber is basically Mogador but better. I guess I wanted to see how Robin, the new pirate commander, would do on Mogador. I suppose can be a reason. But I guess, a pretty good commander on a decent destroyer, even though we don't really perform that well. I mean, you would kind of expect it to do pretty well as we kind of overextend here. The entire enemy spawn can shoot at me as well as Velos. And they do, except one of them for some reason decided to shoot the ships in our spawn. Only thing that's actually trying to shoot at us is Minotaur. But luckily for us, as long as we angle to Minotaur, we'll be fine, and we really shouldn't eat too much damage. Luckily, the battleship, though, just didn't really care enough. Montana just, I guess, decided to shoot whatever's in our spawn. And now the enemy Velos is dead, and, well, not much the enemy team can do now. There's really no way for them to spot me. I mean, it could be possible, radar Minotaur, but doubtful. Otherwise, he would have radared much earlier, and probably wouldn't have allowed me to kill their Velos because, well, one, he would have radared and knew where we were, and would have been ready in order to sort of protect the Velos. But now we're kind of free to just do our job, play the objective, spot, do whatever we really need to do in order to win. Other destroyers on the other side of the map, so not really our problem. We still have our other friendly destroyer alive, so we can let them deal with that. Enemy Montana still just sitting in spawn. I'm really just waiting for their Minotaur to get around the island and get spotted, which he does, and he is flat broadside. One thing about these French destroyers is that these things can citadel things like Minotaur pretty easily. We do get one citadel, but unfortunately we did use our reload boost against the Velos. Would have been very nice to get a couple salvos in and maybe dev strike the Minotaur, but that's unfortunately not the case. Sorry, my phone's not on silent. But either way, Minotaur in his smoke, none of his team is really in any sort of position to spot. So kind of unfortunate for the Minotaur, but for us, we now know Minotaur does not have a radar, so we can get as close as we really want. I mean, at least without charging into Minotaur sonar and being right on top of the Temerair's forehead for him to possibly dev strike us with HE. One of the tragic things that had to happen to these French destroyers was obviously having their torp range reduced, which is unfortunate on many levels. I think it was mainly to try and get their detection closer to the torp range. So instead of nerfing detection, they nerfed the torp range, which unfortunately for us means that torp range is much shorter. Had we kept 8 cam torp range and I guess technically had worse detection, torping things from the front, I mean, we wouldn't really have to be as close. I mean, if we're trying to torp a cruiser with radar, we would have to for sure be within their radar range, because one of the things that allow you to be a little further is your torpedo maximum range, because, well, the longer your torps are in the water, if they're charging at you, then you can be that much further away. So kind of unfortunate that we had to have the torp range neutered so badly, and then on top of that, torp alpha was also reduced. I feel like they either should have nerfed the range or the damage, but that's just me. Kind of unfortunate, especially for a ambush destroyer that would otherwise be able to kind of, well, ambush around the corner, launch one set of torps on one side, and normally dev strike battleships, but now it's not really possible, especially with a lot of the legendary tier and higher tier battleships actually getting proper HP pools, especially stuff like GK and Montana now. Yeah, you're not really dev striking those with 6 Kleber torps from one side. At least not anymore, which is super unfortunate. Montana still out in the boonies doing well, not much. So we decide to go and farm him. I mean, Robin is a pretty good gunboat commander in terms of just farming with your guns. And, well, being a French destroyer, pretty fast. So it's pretty easy to dodge battleship shells. Even if we're not like range build Kaba at battleship range, we're still able to dodge pretty well. Although the one difficult thing on this flank, and really this map, there's not really a whole lot of room to dodge or go anywhere in this corner. As you can see on the minimap, there is pretty much a whole island taking up one of the squares. And then if we were to try and, I guess, kite the other way, well, we're already riding the border, and that's not really something that we want to do. Montana getting absolutely cooked. Unfortunately, he's reversing away. So in order for us to keep him in range, because I'm expecting a damage con soon, we have to kind of go towards him. It's very unfortunate. If we had, I guess, chose to run actual range mod, or really just had good enough destroyer range that wasn't super nerfed in this game, we could at least reach 12 kilometers, I'm pretty sure, which is where most destroyers on PC actually sit, which would have been very nice. But then at the same time, can you imagine if Kaba's base range was 12 and then we threw on all of our gimmicky commanders and inspirations? We probably would be reaching, like, I don't know, I want to say 17, 18 kilometers of range in a Kaba. Can you imagine the player base trying to shoot a Kaba that far away? I mean, their aim is pretty bad as it is, trying to hit a 14 kilometer Kaba, but imagine. Everything would be absolutely cooked. But anyway, that's not really important. Montana decides to finally start pushing in. I thought he was going to basically reverse all the way to the border. Now we need to turn out and start kiting again, but Montana's sort of holding his shot and we're kind of waiting for him to shoot. He fires his front guns, has arguably god tier dispersion as he lands, I want to say, all of his shells from his front guns. Smashes us for half of the HP that we had remaining, but luckily for us, we're already turned away. He's trying to get his rear turrets on target, but we kind of predicted that he was going to try and get all his turrets on target, so we torped a little bit further to the left for our torpedoes to catch him in his turn, and sort of baited him. Unfortunately, didn't lead quite enough. We only land one torp. Montana does miss, and we go unspotted. And at this point, well, Montana is just absolutely cooked. Unfortunate, quick match, but we did do quite a bit on our flank, just doing our job after the Velos went down. And after doing 100 and, was it 26,000 damage, we do get a 3100 XP match. So, pretty good. I mean, obviously, if we had to fight something like Katsanis, I'm pretty sure when I recorded this, Katsanis didn't exist yet. Pretty sure, not sure. But, yeah, Katsanis is 100% gonna dumpster this thing. Just like Gdansk at Legendary tier would dumpster a Kleber. It's unfortunate. I do really enjoy these French destroyers, but the new Pan-European DD is just uber nasty. But we're using Robin, pretty much the same build we use on Kleber. All the commander skills that we wish French destroyers had early on, now behind a paywall. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more, and share it with your friends, or leave a comment down below for other ships you want to see in the future. But anyway, till next time, aloha.